Thank you all so much for tuning in. Love and light to you here. Welcome to your daily predictions reading for March 2020. Thank you for connecting here with you. Let's jump in to see what themes might be at play during the month of March, the season of Pisces. And we've all got Pisces somewhere in our chart, so take it as you will. Whatever energies might be prominent around this time, let's see what it might be for you, dear Capricorn. And let's see here. You did come through actually in the Pisces reading, Capricorn. So if you do feel guided to watch that reading, then feel free. But thank you again for tuning in and connecting here to you. And what we'll be doing is taking a look at the energies that might be a focus throughout the month of March 2020, again, for you, Capricorn. And then we'll jump into a pick a card, series to see further clues as to what, might be coming through as details or of insights for you. You lead into, Capricorn, you lead into the month of March with two suns. You got the Sun of Cups and the Sun of Swords, a major focus on what you are presenting around this time. You're projecting. It could be something that also is presented to you. It may be an opportunity that you feel you absolutely need to take on. For a number of you, it's something that you're like, there's no point in avoiding this. I'm hearing any further. For a number of you, I'm hearing as well in kind of like downplaying what I feel to be as the potential of the space. So for a number of you, I'm hearing it's like I can't also pretend like it's not what I feel it to be, what I see it to be. For a number of you, there's a lot of potential somewhere. You actually feel emotionally very connected, or very curious, at the very least, about some kind of space. It could be a project, even a person that you're interested in pursuing, and it's something that maybe like you put on in the past. I'm hearing that as well, but it's come to the point, Pisces, I'm hearing Pisces, you could be done with the Pisces here for a number of you, where there are no more questions as well. I'm hearing you've also solved the mystery, and you know perhaps also what this means for you. You're like, I now know what this connection is that I feel, and what I feel about this connection. So there's a confirmation here, as I'm getting it, that you move into the month of March 2020, and it's actually very it's simple. There's a simplicity of also clarity here. Beautiful. We move then into the 2nd of March with the 6 of Wands upright. I'm hearing ready, set, go. We then move into we move into the 3rd with the 8 of Cups upright. We got the Lovers coming through on the 4th. The 5th, we've got the 4 of Swords. The 6th, 9 of Pentacles with the 10 of Cups. I'm hearing Gemini and Pisces. And these two cards actually mirroring the card of Gemini, the Lovers in reverse. So we got this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Leading out on the 7th is the 10 of Swords. So there's something that culminates absolutely here, Capricorn, no question or doubt. You're super clear on something. You know also what to call something. I'm hearing it as well in that way. You're like, this thing that I've been feeling, like, let's say you've been moved through some sort of cycle, okay? And you're like, gosh, I feel like, I don't know, like I'm going back and forth, like, do I want it? Do I not? Am I in it? Am I not? Like, there's something that you're really perhaps like, you're like, am I done with the cycle as well? You're like, am I done preparing for this? I'm hearing as well. So maybe for something you've been practicing, big time. And even reciting, and there's something of a question of even like timing. You're like, well, I know I eventually will talk about this. It's just a matter of time. Perhaps it's like, well, I know that I will make a decision on this. It's just a matter of time. And so it's something that maybe also required a certain level of vulnerability for you, and maybe it was something even that you were waiting to carry out on an energetic level, and you're like, look, I can't just do it. I have to feel like, the universe is also ready. I'm hearing for me to climax. I'm hearing in that way, Capricorn, 10 of Cups leading you out. All right. Something that maybe even for number, you're like, I've wanted this. I've just needed to feel like I could have it as well. Wow, interesting. So for a number of something you've held off on big time, like you're like, there's no question that also this is what I want, but I just need to be willing to also have myself ready in the space to appreciate all of it. So for number of you, once again, this is something that you actually are like jumping into full throttle, Capricorn. Like you're like, I don't want to just also like kind of like hit or miss here, okay? I want to like really be able to appreciate the experience, and if that's needed, right, to like kind of take time to be able to like do well, you've taken that time, Capricorn. I'm hearing that specifically, or maybe you felt like it needed to evolve naturally, and so I allowed that time to pass. I've allowed it to take the time that it needed to move through. I've allowed it to sort of take its time. So maybe for a number, there's something that you even like you knew eventually you would present or make a decision on. It's something that maybe even you predicted, but for a number of you as well, Capricorn, like in true Capricornian nature and fashion, you have really been very patient with seeing the process through. And for a number of you, it's like a decision that you were like, I'm gonna make it. It's either in or out, baby. You know what I mean? It's either up or down, either yin or yang. It's either on or it's off, if you know what I mean. And I know what I choose. I just need to be ready also to wear the shoes in order to, I'm hearing, accompany the decision. I'm hearing, and not just down the aisle, but all the way to the altar. I'm hearing to the front of the altar. I'm hearing to the front of also the stage. Let's clear that. For a number of you, this was something that you felt was like very, very uncomfortable to a certain degree. This is for a number of you, Capricorn. It was something that you felt like it's a lot of heat, a lot of pressure. It's something that it was a promise, it was even a commitment. And I know Capricorn, for like, if you have a lot of Capricorn in your chart, you're ruled by Saturn. Let's not get delusional about how important, okay, commitments are to you. All right, if you know what I mean. Stated in this way, if you make a commitment, you make a friggin' commitment, capital C, maybe even ending with a capital T. Commitment, all right? This is like, you know, Capricorn generally will not really take commitments like lightly. They really, again, because why? Because when they pursue something, generally, they really pursue it. They pursue it completely. Now, there could be so many factors at play. If someone's got a lot of, maybe, let's say Gemini. Okay, no hating at all. We've all got Gemini in our chart somewhere, okay? Even one who has every planet in Capricorn, okay, they still have Gemini in their chart somewhere by way of house placement. So, interesting that we're talking about Gemini energy, actually, because we got the Lovers, the card of Gemini in the major arcana in the center of the spread in the middle of your first week. So, but something maybe for a number of you, this is something you've been planning. And yet again, you know, generally, this is something maybe even that, maybe simply, this was something that you wanted to, you're like, look, I'm not going to be like Jello here. Okay? This is not something that I want to just jump into and then like jump right out of as well. Maybe this is, again, a commitment and you're like, I want to move into the space clean and I want to also move out of it clean. Okay, so for a number of you, it's a negotiation even. And you were very careful. For no reason, maybe even like you're like, I got to give follow-up to the proposition. Maybe someone presented you with something and you took some time with getting back to them on that because you knew that this was also perhaps had a lot of potential, could really, once again, let's clear that, climax. Someone was very skeptical or they felt, remember, shy. For a number of you, they felt like they needed to be careful with how they also called something out or branded something. For no reason, this has to do with the public space. It's socially, even communicatively. They actually, with the language that they use, they felt they needed to be careful. So for a number of you, this is something though as well, like, again, let's get back to it. If you got a lot of Capricorn in your chart, you take commitment quite seriously. For a number of you, maybe this is something that you wanted to be very cautious about. You don't want to just like kind of call it out. You don't want to just say, yeah, we're on, okay? I'm seeing someone's like asking you like, hey, are we best friends? Or are we like, you know, or are we more than that? I'm hearing as well. Let's clear this 1 second. I'm hearing, love me, say that you love me, fool me, go on and fool me. Like, maybe someone was putting you under a lot of pressure. Maybe you felt like there was pressure here a little bit. Okay, maybe like, I'm here at least with playing along with something or with someone in some kind of space. It could be you with an aspect of your being. You're like, yeah, I was putting it off. Or I felt like, you know, maybe this was self-imposed. Like, you're like, I need to make a decision on this. I need to be very practical. I'm hearing as well. Very clear about the decision that I do make. And I need to be committed to the decision that I do make. So, in true Capricornian fashion, right, yet again, not surprising to know that practicality also perhaps was a concern or a question here. So, anyhow, Pisces, I'm here, Pisces, Pisces, are you cross-watching? Pisces, are you cross-watching? Are you snooping on a Capricorn? All right, let's clear it. It could be an aspect of your own being as well, even if you are Pisces. Excuse me, Capricorn. Now, for a number of you, this had to do with something that you felt there were also like a lot of layers to whatever this is. And you felt like Perhaps it's something that you needed to learn about, and it was something that maybe you wanted to be very kind of like careful with the way that you even addressed. Maybe there was a certain level of even sensitivity that you felt you needed to handle the situation through. So for a number of you, it's something that you needed to be, as you might have felt it, like willing to also get vulnerable with. Okay, maybe for a number of you this has to do with even a space that was a little bit I'm hearing it's something that I'm hearing you were like practicing. I'm hearing self-taught. I'm hearing manners. For a number of you, someone felt like they weren't ready to have a certain experience and they needed to take time with that. So for a number of you, someone actually knew, they felt like there was something here. Maybe it was a project that they're very excited about jumping into. But again, I'm hearing safety first. They didn't want to feel like they also just jumped into it. So maybe this is the type of thing where, you know, someone just kind of like, they set up this measure. They're like, well, I have to just say no first, so that when I say yes, I feel like I'm saying yes, because I really also I was brought here. So I don't know, maybe someone was a little bit, they felt that they wanted to also confirm the feeling of another. Oh wow. So somebody maybe even they didn't know what to call something. This is not for everyone. They wanted to be they felt like they needed to also get to know someone a little better before, or some space. It could be an aspect of themselves before they were to actually confirm their participation in some kind of way, in a public way, I'm hearing as well. For a number of you, it has to do with the community. I'm hearing the stamps on the sticker. One second. Yeah, for a number of you, this has to do with even some kind of like past that somebody wants to communicate about in some way, or to come out about. Feeling... Okay, I'm hearing I'm ready, but I'm not yet. What? Okay, like... Somebody had set up an expectation for themselves. Let's jump into the second week, Capricorn. You got the 10 of Wands. Wow. You lead out of the first week with the 2 tens. 10 of Swords and the 10 of Cups. You lead into the second with the 10 of Wands. So that sits right beneath the Son of Cups. Father Swords accompanying the 10 of Wands. Okay. Around the 8th and 9th. Then we move into the 10th with the Wheel of Fortune. The 11th with the 5 of Pentacles. The 12th with the Emperor. The 13th with the 5 of Wands, the 14th with the Mother of Swords. We then move into the third week with the 2 of Cups. So I'm hearing, okay, we're fine. I'm here. Okay, well, making it a fit. Well, before we get into that, Mother of Swords leads you out of the second week. In the third week, again, 2 of Cups coming through for you, Capricorn. Leading you into around the 15th. The 16th is the Mother of Wands. 17th is the 3 of Wands. The 18th is the 2 of Wands. The 19th is the Empress. I'm hearing we're getting, okay, well, let's wait on that, Capricorn. Okay, so I'm going to pull the cards and then we'll... So again, this is the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. 20th is the 5 of Cups. The 21st is the Death card. We move into the fourth week with the Justice card. Around the 22nd, 23rd is the 6 of Cups. 24th is the Father of Wands. 25th, and we're going to explain these energies here in just a second. Father of Cups is coming through around the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 25th. 26th is the 7 of Cups. 27th is the Knight of Swords. 28th is the 8 of Pentacles. 29th is the Daughter of Swords. 30th is the 7 of Pentacles, and the 31st is the Magician. Clean. I'm hearing clean. We've cleared it. I'm hearing as well. For a number of you, there's something that you're ready for. Okay, Capricorn, like, and there's no more jumping around in the room, okay, about it. Like, to say it in this way, it's not something that we're just kind of like, we're hyping up and we're blowing air in the balloon with, and then we're gonna just like hold, and then we're just gonna kind of like let go of, and then we're gonna blame the balloon for floating away with. No, like, this is not something that we're just dreaming of any longer. This is beyond that state and stage of also imagining what can become of. I'm hearing imagining the story unfolding. For now, you're taking something on head on, Scorpio. I'm hearing Scorpio, and I'm hearing Pisces. Here is the Death card, actually. Card of Scorpio sitting right up top of the Magician. For a number of you were like really taking something very seriously. It's something that you've actually, I'm hearing you've stopped yourself in the past, perhaps at a certain point, with taking on. For a number of you, something is actually becoming very realistic, and it's like, okay, now's the time. We're getting really at that point where we can't just like actually role play anymore. For a number of you, this is something that maybe even like you were in the process of recovering from. I'm hearing also the space of, I'm hearing preparing for. For a number of you, it has to do with regeneration and healing. It may also have to do with energy work and spirituality. So maybe on an energetic level, get a load of this, Pisces. I'm hearing Pisces, Scorpio, Capricorn. You got a lot of people coming through here for you. In the third, well, yes, is it the second week? In the second week and then in the third week, Capricorn, you have the Emperor and the Empress. They're exactly mirroring one another. So to say it in this way, on the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, the 11th, the 12th, on the 12th we have the Emperor coming through. On the let's see, the 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. On the 19th, we have the Empress coming through. So on, what is that? On the fifth day of both the second week and the third week, you've got here this alignment. For a number of you, there's something that you are really aware of now. I'm hearing you're driven by as well. You realize something actually really is like a motivation for you. For a number of you, let's backtrack. You're realizing something and you actually don't really want to just have to replace that desire with something of a similar nature. I'm not sure what that's about. Maybe for a number of you, you're like, I've been calling you my friend, but I realize that you're my future and that it's not going to just be a friendly one between us. It's going to be also, it's going to be formal. I'm hearing fantastic. Wow. For a number of you, you're actually confronting Capricorn. This is very important here. I'm hearing that with the Emperor and the Empress. You're confronting what also brings you to a certain state, brings you to a certain person, I almost said, brings you to a certain state of balance. To say it in this way, what are my needs? I'm hearing yin and yang. This is for a number of you. For a certain period of time, you're like, I am independent. I'm fine. I'm hearing on my own. I'm hearing I'm fine single. I'm hearing that as well. Okay, whatever. Maybe Capricorn. Maybe this is in matters of also your connection. I'm hearing to your higher self. I'm not sure what this is alluding to. I'm hearing God as well. I don't know. What is that? Take it as you will. For a number of you, I'm hearing this has to do with your own greatness and your own potential. There was something that was a challenge, maybe even something that you avoided or you put off. You're like, well, before I really like also think about that, I'm hearing partnering up, perhaps even with someone, maybe even collaborating. This has to do with collaboration, even on a public level or scale. Maybe you really hesitated, you really waited. For a number of you, there was a level of also intimidation here for a number of you. Maybe whatever this space was, it's like, wow, that's like too good for me. I'm hearing that as well. Maybe someone was very interested in, but there was like a little bit of this question of how would I approach the space if I were to. I'm seeing someone feels that there is like a lot as well at stake, but in a way of saying that there's a lot, again, also of potential. You got the Two of Cups here that's anchored by the Father of Wands. Two of Cups is mirroring the Father of Wands and then mirroring as well the Empress. So somebody has perhaps known that there was also a lot more than just what plays. I'm hearing as itself out as passion on the sort of physical plane. There is a sentimental connection here, and it is really strong, Capricorn. We have the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups. It's on an energetic level, on a spiritual level, beyond anything that you have felt before. I'm hearing it in this way. For a number of you, you feel and you know, you have this knowingness that there is a serious connection here. I'm hearing soul on a soul deep level. You feel that perhaps even it is like written, even as a soul contract. I don't know what I'm hearing, soul to soul. With the Two of Cups, the Justice card that sits at the base of the Two of Cups, Six of Cups. For a number of you, you realize actually that you feel very, very, very connected to someone, and it's like it hits you like a lightning bolt. This is for a number of you, and you realize, I'm hearing Pisces strongly here with the Lovers in reverse. Holy shit, I'm hearing I'm not gonna live without them. Like, no friggin' way am I gonna leave also the party without holding their hand, walking out from it. I'm hearing that as well. Lovers in reverse, Six of Cups, and the Two of. Someone realizes like that they don't want to have to reimagine also, okay? The play date. I don't know what, like someone feels like this is an opportunity, and they feel like they found someone who they can really also get along with, and they're like, look, I don't want to lose out on this lane just because I wasn't fast enough. I'm hearing to really race them in it. Wow. So maybe for a number of you, this is like some kind of connection or even opportunity that someone feels is really important to them as well. Like, it's serious. Like, maybe they realize that there's also a lot that they can create in the space, and that inevitably calls them to the podium of how they see themselves as a creator. So for a number of you, it's actually a matter of owning up also to their abilities. Now, for a number of you, this is you with you. It has to do with an aspect of your personality or a number of aspects of your personality that you feel guided and called to take on and even to promote. For a number of you, it requires of you to confront head on, Capricorn, the things that you fear. Okay, and if you've got a lot of Saturn in your chart, if you may not be a Capricorn, but let's say you're watching this video and you've got a lot of Saturn in your chart, Saturn conjunct an angle in the 28th, 29th degree, 27 as well, even conjunct your North Node, I'm hearing that for a number of you. There can be this also streak of perfectionism, I'm hearing that specifically, that you might feel like, before I can call myself up to the podium, I need to feel like I'm not going to present. I'm hearing also my imperfections along the way. I'm not sure what that's going to do, but for a number of you, maybe there's just a really high standard. It may have to do with the past, it may have to do with parenting, certain historical cycles even that you feel you move through, that has sort of set you up to feel or fear, okay, some sort of I'm hearing also rekindling of a certain connection. I don't know what that's alluding to. Maybe for a number of you, you feel like, I want to reconnect with this person, but I'm like afraid of looking like I'm hearing a ridiculous retard. I don't know what, those are not my words, Capricorn. That might be a specific message for a number of you. Maybe this is something that like you actually you reveal. I don't know what that's about. Maybe I don't know, not my words, Capricorn, no judgment. But for a number of you, there's something that, hold on, this is programming, okay, that perhaps was set up in the past. Like maybe even someone read some, I'm hearing scripture or like some sort of like fake news article. They're like, if you ever like, you know, revisit like someone from the past in this way, or I'm hearing if you ever like also rekindle a connection with someone in the past, I'm hearing that you ran from, I'm hearing in that way, I don't know what that's linked to. I'm hearing you will look ridiculous. I don't know what that's about, but somebody read an article and they, after they read that article, they were like reminded also of something in the past, and it maybe like they felt like they required of them, I'm hearing rekindling this connection required of them to represent something. This has to do, yeah. So, oh, okay, Capricorn, for a number of you, somebody feels like they set up a certain reputation here. Maybe there's some kind of, they feel that they even set up some sort of reputation, I'm hearing that again, that requires of them to like they feel responsible to replace that reputation or to replace that role that was set up. It's something that, well, for a number of you also, somebody feels like they need to take responsibility with the role that they do play. And again, they take it quite seriously. With the Empress sitting right up top of the Emperor. I said the Empress. I was looking at the Emperor, the Empress. And the Empress, okay, the Emperor. So, for a number of you, very interesting. The eyes of the Emperor, okay, the Emperor and the Empress. Somebody is actually, they feel like they need to be highly empathic when it comes to entertaining whatever the space is. They realize that this must be also balanced. It cannot be like someone giving more than the other taking. I'm hearing that as well. I'm not sure what that's alluding to, take it as you will, but maybe someone feels like they really are very also much interested in entertaining a certain connection, but they know that in order for it to also survive, I'm hearing in the long term, which they feel has a lot of potential for. However, they fear, I'm hearing not knowing also where to take things. I'm hearing, okay, so wow, very interesting. So somebody also feels that they must be willing to approach the situation in a way that is and appreciates, I'm hearing both parties equally. Wow. So for a number of you, someone feels like also they didn't play the game right in the past. Oh, big time. Somebody maybe even has some sort of history here. This came strongly in the Pisces energy reading. And they know that there is a really strong focus on presenting their character, and they feel like they don't want to also cause drama. I'm hearing it in this way for a number of you. Like, they want to please this person, and it might be on, again, a personal level. Like, someone realizes, for me to be successful in whatever the space is, I need to be willing to also confront this aspect of my personality. I need to be willing to confront this other part of my character, even, and it is a need for a number of you. Realize it's a need of yours. If I'm gonna also, to say it this way, let's say that I'm a performer, okay? Like, I have this side of me, let's say, that is very much all about and very much stimulated by, okay, carrying whatever the performance is out in a public way. I love that. I'm hearing that specifically. I love to feel like I'm on stage, like I'm creating, like I'm performing, like I'm presenting as well, in the, again, even on a physical level. I realize that maybe there is a physical side to this, and that is very much, at play in the connection space. However, I also realize the need for the deeper layers of how it is that I communicate. I'm hearing to my beloved. I'm not sure what that's going to. I'm hearing Sybil. I'm hearing Sybil with the Empress and the Emperor. Let's backtrack. So for a number of you, there's something that, let's clear that with the Three of Wands, Mirror, and the Emperor. Well, okay, for a number of you, someone feels like there is also a certain personal side to the story. Like, again, even if I'm a performer, I'm not just a performer. Let's say, well, yeah, I am a performer, but I'm also a person, and I need to acknowledge my needs as a person, okay? Prior to also signing that contract. I don't know what that's alluding. I'm hearing as a performer. So maybe someone feels like maybe you're actually, you're offered something. Maybe it's a promotion, and for a number of you, you feel, I'm hearing it has to do with civil court, justice. I'm hearing rights. I don't know what. Maybe you're like, well, I'm about to like also leave my desk job for this like gig. I'm hearing that as well. But also like for this one, I'm hearing girl, I'm hearing good girl, Empress and the Emperor. I don't know what that's about, take as you will. Someone's about to like take on a certain opportunity or even a project. And I'm almost seeing like somebody who, let's clear that, let's backtrack. They realize that they have this also, well, for a number of you, there's a reputation, and it is related to a community. And they realize, like, look, as much as that is important or at play, I am not my audience. I am not my community. I am not my history. I am not my family. I am my own person, and I must realize my needs on that personal level. I'm hearing my desk is not my job. I'm hearing that as well. So maybe for a number of you, this has to do with the sort of like public space around the very private space. For a number of you, it has to do with ownership of goods and commodities. Maybe for a number of you, you're like, look, or vice versa. I don't want to feel like I'm owned by my job or by my production company. For a number of you, this really has to do with production of creative content and the promotion of it. Maybe for a number of you, like you have some sort of deal come through, or you're like working with some kind of like company maybe, or it's a contract. Yeah, I'm hearing that specifically for a number of you. This is a specific message perhaps for a number of you, and like they want to like promote you. It can be a record deal. Maybe someone's like about to like sign some big deal, and maybe they are like even a singer, or I'm hearing playwright, and it's like, well, the minute that I sign this, like I will be like a performer, but I'm seeing someone who's like, look, I want to perform, but I also want to still produce my music. I'm hearing magic with the Empress and the Emperor. Like someone realizes also what feeds and fuels their creativity, and they feel like they need to be really honest with that. They're like, if I sign a record deal, I'm hearing this right off the bat for a Capricorn, I fear not being able to fly. I'm hearing and have the freedom to create what it is that I really want to create. And it actually is like I'm hearing it marks the spot. I'm hearing that with the Emperor and the Empress with the Two of Wands. Like, it's something that they realize, like, how do I preserve my sense of autonomy within the space of the community? I'm hearing it's not that I don't want to change my name. I'm hearing that as well with the Emperor and the Emperor. Let's clear that. Someone feels like it's not that I don't want to collaborate. I do. It's not that I don't want to create and compose. I'm hearing I'm hearing my message for others. It's not that I don't want to also present this publicly, but I realize that I need to be really practical with the way that I feel when I am presenting my work. So maybe for a number of you, and it's something that actually it's sensitive. It's a sensitive subject. This is not for everyone. Perhaps take it as you will. This is for some. I'm hearing again civil court. I don't know what that's linked to, but somebody maybe feels like it's also not just something that I'm hearing J.K. Rowling with the Emperor. This is a story, something that maybe you're thinking of publishing, or something that you have published in the past, and you're like, it's not a joke. Like, I don't want, you know, to just start making money also off of it. One second. Somebody wants to be careful. Yeah. They this is sacred, actually. One second. I'm hearing surprise, mountain. For a number of you, this is something that someone holds upon themselves. They're like, and it was a promise. For a number of you, this was a promise that someone made with themselves. They're like, if I ever were to approach this type of connection, I'm hearing as well, with someone, I would have to see myself absolutely in that space. And that's not something simple. I'm hearing that. But it's also not something super complicated and interesting. It's, what I'm seeing it, what it comes down to is the Three of Wands. Three of Wands mirroring the Emperor and mirroring the Death card. So there is a power and a potency in the concept of creation here that someone feels like they just simply need to address in a way where they can feel comfortable with that space, like with creating whatever it is that they would feel inevitably they would need to create in that space. Interesting. For number here, it has to do with co-creation. I'm not sure what that's alluding to. For number, it has to do with parenting. So much parenting has been coming through in the readings. Now, for number of you, it has to do with history, the past. I'm hearing Constantinople. I don't know what that's alluding to. Someone feels like there is even like a history here that's a little bit controversial that they feel they need to address. Like, they're like, I can't address the future without addressing the past, type of thing. It has to do with conventions. I'm hearing rules, laws, structures. Okay. For a number of you, it is actually strategic, and it could be simply in the way of, well, if I were to approach this space, I would have to have a metrics and a model that could appreciate the needs of this space down the line as well. So maybe someone actually feels like they want to present something or they want to pursue something, but they feel like they need to approach it also in a way that I'm hearing can be represented legally. And it could come down to strategy, even legally, with the Mother of Swords. Like, someone feels like they need to even write up a contract. Again, I'm hearing Sybil. I don't know what that's alluding to. Symbol. Now, you lead out with the Magician, Capricorn. You have the Four of Pentacles in reverse in your theme. For a number of you, I'm hearing CV. Okay, so this may have to do with, I'm hearing seed fund rounding, a round of seed fund. For a number of you, you're thinking about taking on investment, Daughter of Pentacles. Yeah, ooh, right over the Mother of Pentacles in reverse. For a number of you, this is something that I'm hearing, but I see it coming. Something, what's that song? The Moon in reverse. For a number of you, this is something that you knew that you would actually be eventually presented even with, or something that you felt, this space would evolve to this point where the question of commitment would actually come up for review. I'm here for a review. So maybe for a number of you, this is something that I'm hearing again, like you entertained, but you didn't address on the envelope with a stamp, if you know what I mean. Okay, like maybe it's something where you're like, well, I wrote the letter, put it in the envelope, but I didn't seal it, okay? Maybe it was something that you're waiting to make official. Maybe for a number of you, like, it was something that you actually saw. Again, you saw through even. Maybe this is an experience that you've been kind of involved in to a certain degree, to a certain level, but now is the time where you want to really get rather official, rather formalized with it as well. And it may have to do actually with information, maybe even with forwarding the message I'm hearing in a public way. So maybe for no reason it has to do with presenting something in a public way, and there could be a certain aspect of reputation involved. All right, let's get into your pick a card stacks here. Gemini, I'm hearing Gemini, Capricorn. Let's see here what might be at play, further clues, insights that may come through. So feel free to choose between these three stacks. We're going to pull three stacks here, stack A, stack B, and stack C. And thank you all so much as well for tuning in. We'll see here what further little clues might come up here. What clues might provide further illumination as to what has already come through in the sort of general daily predictions here for March. All right, stack A, stack B, stack C. Whew, beautiful. Capricorn. Stack A, we got stack B, and we got stack C. Now, feel free, if you feel guided, to watch more than one stack For example, if you feel like, well, I felt called to watch deck, B and C, 2 and 3, then feel free. All right. So there could be even a focus on timing. So maybe, this is even a matter of progression, but always heed your personal intuition where we feel guided to watch. But for a number of you, maybe it's something like, let's say I watch all 3 and I find that, the energy is progressive for me, but always apply it to situation as you do. However, you do feel guided to also watch. Sometimes I find that, if I watch more than one stack, that sometimes it kind of like, they unfold this sort of story. So take it as you will. You do lead out with the Magician from these 3 stacks. So, and it's funny because I pulled 3 stacks, but then the Magician is what leads you out. So if you do feel guided again to watch more than one stack, then do feel free. You lead into this stack A. Again, I'm seeing a very strong focus on progression again. So for a number of you, again, if you feel guided, then there could be some sort of progression here. I'm hearing Hermit. I'm not sure what that's linked to, but that's a card of Virgo in the Major Arcana. Sun of Wands coming through upright. Hangman, and the Devil. For a number of you, I'm hearing dusting, easy. I'm hearing easy does it. Okay, now the Devil here has his eye on the Hangman. For a number of you, perhaps you feel that you've come a long way here, okay, in some shape or form, be it with someone. Some of you, Capricorn, you're definitely dealing with the Pisces, no question, no doubt, and I highly recommend, if you do feel guided, to watch that reading. For a number of you, there's something that you felt you needed to be very careful with. Maybe for a number of you, you feel also like a very strong connection with whatever this space may be as well. It might be even an aspect of your being that you felt you didn't want to just also call out, maybe even too quickly. It was something that maybe you felt you needed to take time to consider. It was something that maybe you felt you needed to also practice to even play around with the idea of a little bit before actually involving yourself in this space. Now, I actually want to pull a card here on the Devil and the Hangman to see what might be at play. 10 of Swords in reverse. Wow. Like somebody was they felt like something was a little bit, wow, they actually felt like it, wow, they felt like it was destiny. They felt like it was a matter of time, like one way or another. Okay, like they're like, I'm sure that she's the one, and I'm seeing that there is actually a focus here on the second stack. The little note, I see the Hierophant peeking out from in the second stack, mirroring the 4 of Wands in reverse. So if you do feel guided, I'm seeing that there again is perhaps a progression here at play. If you do feel that this might be related to the story that you feel involved in. Now, the Hanged Man, or to some degree perceptively, 10 of Swords in reverse and the Sun upright. 7 of Cups in reverse. Somebody felt like there was a cycle at play. It has to do with the past. I'm hearing that. So they felt like they needed to move through, let's say it in this way. They've met someone, they felt a very strong connection, but they knew and they felt that they needed to move through some sort of cycle. It is a little sad. I don't know what that's alluding to. What is sad? That's just coming through. I'm just channeling here, Capricorn, what's coming through. Not my personal opinion. Take it as you will. The Devil with the 10 of Swords and the Hangman. Someone felt like this circumstance sucks. I mean, that's really just gotta say that. Someone felt like something was also like, or maybe they felt like they saw something in like somewhat of like a negative way. Like maybe they felt like I'll never get to them. I'm hearing that as well. Like it's weird because the Devil, I'm hearing dancing with a stranger. Like someone felt like some space was elusive, even some aspect of even maybe this connection, or they felt like this connection or this person, they felt like a very strong connection with the person, but they felt like maybe they felt like it was unrealistic, or they were concerned that they would never actually like finally get to meet them. I'm hearing that as well. For no reason, I'm hearing this as someone's child or their children. Maybe they were separated from someone and they were like real concerned, very worried. They were like, I hope they're well taken care of. I'm hearing that with the Chariot. I'm hearing Midge. I'm hearing Madge. I'm hearing as well with the Hangman. I don't know. Let's clear that. Somebody maybe felt like also something was not defined, and they were really worried about that. Actually, they were like, well, something was just left hanging in the air, and I don't feel good about that. I'm hearing that as well. Like maybe someone felt like they felt bad because they were taking their time with something, even Capricorn, like they didn't officialize some space here. I'm seeing that with the Devil, the Son of Wands looking down at the Hangman. Now, maybe someone felt as well like that they didn't take the opportunity, or they didn't take the chance in some way to hand someone something tangible to sort of reflect what it is that they really did feel. Okay, so maybe someone felt like they were, I'm hearing hideaway, like, okay, let's clear this. There's something that someone wanted to communicate, perhaps. It was really maybe even controversial for a number of you, and or someone felt like I didn't really represent myself there. I'm hearing that as well. I didn't really show up. I'm hearing that as well. With the devil looking down, someone felt bad. Maybe they stepped out of a space, they ducked. I'm hearing they went into hiding. I'm hearing that as well. Like, the weird thing here is that I'm seeing someone running away from some space, but like in a clumsy manner. Like, I'm seeing someone running away from a space. They're looking back and they're running. And then they bump into something. I don't know what that's alluding to, but like someone felt like they also were like playing with their shadow a little bit. I'm hearing they were shy. I'm hearing very shy. This is for a number of you. Oh my goodness. Like, and they weren't sure also maybe how someone would actually see them. I'm seeing that this might not be on a conscious, like, this might be on a subconscious level. They might be working with even their subconscious. It could be something that you were like planning but then you didn't follow through with. I'm hearing that as well. Like, someone was just dreaming. They were up all night. I'm hearing dressing up the doll in their head, and then they never really I'm hearing dragged it out of the room. I don't know. Let's clear that. So maybe someone was like, they were very concerned with how something would actually be taken. Yo, big time. They're like, if I were to present this, how would they actually like see me as a person? I'm hearing that as well. How would they see me as a creator of what it is that I also created? So maybe someone actually created something, and they were like, when I present this, like maybe they were concerned about how their persona would be presented as well on behalf of what they presented. Interesting. So one second. They were really questioning how they would also be presented. I'm hearing that again. Well, how they would be promoted. This has to do with this is on a public level, even in terms of reputation. Someone perhaps felt like they were dancing between two lives. This is for a number of you. They felt like, well, I have these two sides of my being as well, and if I move, how I said, if I were to make this move and really publicize this space, what would happen? What would I'm hearing, what would the process look like? I'm hearing that for a number of you. I'm hearing as well, what would the presentation look like? How would it turn out? So this is for a number of you. Someone was like, they felt like something was even like, there would be feedback, there would be reaction, maybe even on a public level, even in terms of publicity. Someone knew, they're like, there would be like, there would definitely be, maybe even backlash to some degree, but this is for a number of you. This is happening on a perceptive level. It may be like something that somebody is, even sort of predicting. They're like, well, they're thinking in a hypothetical. They're like, if I presented this, like, they're thinking in their head, like, oh, they could totally, like, present this back as well. And it might be a negotiation, but for a number of you, I'm seeing that it's a conversation, perhaps, that you feel it's a commitment for a number of you as well. Now, this person has no idea that you're thinking like this. I'm hearing that specifically with Capricorn. If you're dealing with a Pisces, or if you're dealing with someone here, like, they're not even, I'm hearing they are in prison. This is not for everyone, hopefully not, but it could be even metaphorical. Like, they're like, again, hopefully not. Somebody's like, well, I don't know how they would take it if I told them also about this problem that I have. I don't know what that's alluding to, what is considered a problem. Somebody maybe even has some sort of history, again, a past of even an addiction that they're real hesitant, okay, to plan around. I don't know what that's alluding to. They're like, I need to really take this very seriously so that, this doesn't also come up in the promotion. I'm hearing that as well. So maybe someone is applying even for a position, or they're considering presenting something to someone, or even proposing something, and they feel like they also, well, for no reason, this has to do with how someone sees them. They're really concerned about that. They're like real concerned about their public image in some way, perhaps. Now, for a number of you, it has to do with planning. It's simply strategy or strategic. Well, not simply. Someone actually takes this like really, really seriously. Okay, they're like, I need to plan step A to B to C to D. Like, they like look at step A as step C, because they know that step A eventually leads to step C. Even if that takes the course of like 7 years. or 17 years. They think about children. Like, they look at the person who they potentially would partner up with, and they don't just look at them as a person that they partner up with. They look at the parents that they would become. I mean, or children and their children. I'm hearing, I wanna date, what's that song? Wanna take away, ooh, but they feel like it's destiny. Oh my goodness. I'm hearing letter G. I'm hearing, let's just go home already. Like, they look at this person and they're like, on one hand, they're like, we might as well just, like, you know, give each other, like, you know, the promise already. I'm hearing that as well. Like, someone maybe looks at some space, they're like, on one hand, like, I totally get also, like, there is potential, and they know that. They see also, maybe they see how it could unfold. I'm hearing, but I just have to give in. I'm hearing to the whole children thing. I'm hearing that as well. I'm hearing of who we would become once we would be together once again. Wow. So for a number of you, someone realizes as well that there is this, like, need to be vulnerable. Maybe it has to do with the inner child. They realize that there is also, like, more to the promise that they make. It's like they also need to, like, act in that way. Like, maybe someone's like, well, if I am to, like, promise this, I have to be willing to, like, be that person who not only, like, promises that one thing, but also is ready to present it. For a number of you, this is happening on the level of the behavior. Somebody actually is, you know, wondering, like, could I handle this? Maybe someone knows, like, that they have this sort of, like, aspect of their character that I'm hearing has yet to evolve. Okay, so somebody is actually, they're very, like, they're wondering how someone also sees them. And, well, no, they're concerned with how someone would actually be able to handle their attitude. I'm hearing that. And though I don't know what that's only to, what's their attitude? Maybe their belief system even. This may have to do with religion for me. Their after party. I'm hearing protocol. I don't know what that's about. With the devil, somebody has certain even, like, attitudes about certain things, and they wonder, like, if this person would be able to I'm hearing have them over after that. Hold on. I'm hearing when I get away. I'm hearing that song. Is that Chase You Down? This came through in the, I believe, the Pisces reading and in the I didn't do the Cancer reading yet, but feel free if you feel guided to watch that reading, or it might come through there. Again, I haven't done that reading yet. I have no idea what has come through there, but take it as you will. For a number of you, it's like, wow, very interesting. I'm seeing somebody who actually, like, they were planning something, but they realize, like, the current situation may not be, like, the situation that they really see accompanying the potential here, if that makes sense. They're like, well, the place that I'm in right now, and it may be financially, someone fears it could be, again, not literal, but it may be perceptive in terms of, I'm hearing the constructed ideology space around the connection. In other words, maybe someone feels a very strong connection with someone. They're like, well, I feel like maybe I'm not ready for that yet. It can be, like, because someone feels like there may be some sort of level of expectation that they're not ready or willing to accommodate because of some sort of fear space mentality. I'm hearing that. Let's clear that. So somebody feels like, okay, now for a number of you, this has to do with commitment. And it's not because they don't want to have this connection here taken to the next level. It's because they wonder if they can continue, okay, what they have started. So in some way, they're really afraid to even, like, start it to begin with. This is not for everyone. I'm hearing Bianca is framed. Hold on, let's clear that. Somebody's, like, it has to do with someone's family member or somebody's family. Let's clear that. The Sun, the Hanged Man, and the Ten of Swords. Somebody's, like, wondering, like, how someone would see them, or there's some aspect of the family or, like, history that somebody's, like, they're concerned about, like, has to do with the image. 1 second. They're worried about. They're wondering if they would fit in, or, like, if someone's family would 1 second. If they would, I'm hearing I'm hearing, because they don't know you like I know you. What's that song? Because they don't feel you like I feel you, something like that. But for a number of you, this has to do with someone's behavior, even their cycles. For a number of you, though, it's perceptive. Like, this person is like, would they get me when I'm under pressure? I'm hearing that as well. But no, this has to do with shyness, shy behavior. They're like, would they see me? Like, they feel like they would get shy. Okay, this is for a number of you. So it feels like, I feel like I'm also boring. I'm hearing that right. I feel like I would not know how to, like, plan also the play date in a way that would be, like, something that they would consider playing as fun playing. I don't know what. Like, someone's like, should I take them to the museum? Like, would they think that I'm, like, I'm here, like, trying to have, I'm hearing how, okay. Capricorn, I'm hearing solve the murder mystery, hunt film. Like, somebody feels like also they're like, would they think that I'm, like, really weird for wanting to watch all these, like, weird episodes of, like, cold cases? I don't know whether I'm hearing company, also company, like, company, company culture, like, conversations, like, I'm hearing talks with the founders of the Fortune 500 companies. Like, Capricorn, let's backtrack. Let's clear this. Somebody has maybe even this, like, convention. I'm hearing convention that they need to attend. Like, they might have this, like, they're like a CEO of a company. This is not for everyone. But they have this, like, maybe even convention, as they might feel it. They feel like I have this conventional side to my behavior and to my attitude or whatever. Again, the attitude coming through with the devil. And they feel like it might put someone off. Like, maybe they are like, well, what do you do in your free time? Well, I watch company leaders talk. Like, and they're like, is that boring? Like, they fear being called boring, or they fear that someone might, like, look at their resume and, like, think that they have, like, nothing but devil's advocate to play as well. Like, they feel like they're also, like, way too done up. Like, they fear that. They're like, but this is a concern. Let's distinguish that from the reality of the situation. Okay, like, in all reality, like, this person feels, one second, that they need to I'm hearing remodel, the Hanged Man. Someone feels like they need a makeover, even, like, in order to, like, really, but they're not for everyone. They feel like maybe someone will not accept them, but let's clear that. I'm hearing, hey, can you come over? But they're like playing something out in their mind, but again, I'm hearing conventions. I'm hearing conventionals with the devil and the hangman. Someone feels like it's also complicated. They're like, yeah, I'm here, it has to do with the covenant law. I don't know what that's going to. But for a number of you, it has to do with someone's hobbies, okay? I'm hearing, I find that mad attractive when someone's into murder mysteries. What? Madge? I'm hearing again, Madge. I'm hearing solving the mystery. Like, they're gonna come over to my house and they're gonna see that I have, like, all of these, like, people on my wall. Like, I'm totally into, like, the whole, like, pull out your gun thing. I don't know what. So let's clear that. Somebody has maybe even, like, well, they're an officer. Okay. Yeah. For a number of you. Or they have some sort of history here. Or they have a portfolio. I'm hearing runners and chasers. Okay. All right. So maybe for take as you will, but maybe someone, they have even, like, a quirk about them, or they have an interest, maybe, like, that's what they do in their free time, they watch, like, but no, this is for a number of you, like, they may be an investigator. Yes, big time for a number of you. They have this, like, I'm hearing this skirt underneath their dress. What's that about? They have this, like, also layer to their personality that they're like, they're not gonna get it. I don't blame them. Well, let's clear that. I'm hearing it has to do with when they come over. This person has, like, maybe even, like, a double personality, or, like, a double life. Hold on, let's clear that. I don't know what that's going to do. I'm hearing commissioner. maybe they have they have some sort of like mission. If for no reason it's religion, well, it has to do with their upbringing. They're real concerned about that. Let's move into the second stack. All right. Four of Cups in reverse. Son of Pentacles upright. Ace of Pentacles upright. The Chariot upright. Three Cups upright. Seven of Swords upright. Judgment in reverse. The Four of Wands in reverse. Ten of Pentacles. You have two stacks. Wow. Okay. See, I'm telling you, Capricorn, this energy wants to move through each stack. So feel free, if you do feel guided, to watch more than one stack. The Ten of Pentacles just fell onto the Ace of Wands in the third stack. So there could be something that comes through into the third stack. Ten of Pentacles again, right over the Four of Wands in reverse. Star in reverse. Tower upright. Seven of Wands upright. Eight of Swords upright. Hierophant upright. Now, somebody here they feel perhaps like they haven't taken something as seriously as they would have liked to. It's coming through real clearly. Okay, Capricorn, somebody wants to communicate also something in a way that is like makes it official, and they're really done with dragging the process on, perhaps, as someone may feel it here. They feel like also something's been like really taken a lot of time. Now, for a number of you, this has to do with planning, and they feel like, well, there are steps and stages. You know, we can't just like have a baby, okay, by way of like you know, kind of like I'm hearing braiding each other's hair. Like, I don't know what that's like to, but they're like, we need to take the steps. Okay, we need to not just plant the seed and then wake up tomorrow and see the branches on the tree. I don't know what that's like. Like, someone feels like also maybe the way that so they've been dilly-dallying, as someone may feel it. This is not me talking, Capricorn. This is something that perhaps, I'm just channeling this. Okay, this is maybe how someone feels, and it may not actually be the case. Maybe they have this perception. They're like, I feel like I'm falling behind with my plans as well. So maybe this is something that someone has set up as even like an expectation. Maybe they put this upon themselves, or like maybe it was even like a 2020 resolution or something like that. They're like, maybe they even set up like a date. They're like, by this date, I need to have made my decision. And maybe they feel like they're falling behind with that a little bit. Maybe for no reason, it has to do with children. You have the Chariot here. Maybe someone knows like, look, I have this plan. Maybe it's even a vision. Maybe it's even a desire, and they know that. They also know that it has a lot of potential, but they feel like they're not taking those action steps to really manage it as more than a vision and really invest in it, perhaps physically. Now, let's clear that. That's not me talking, Capricorn, again. It could be something that something that you've been planning, or something that you feel like I want to really like plan for this, even on a practical level. So for a number of you, it's like this. Maybe there's something that you actually really realize you want, all right? And maybe you realize, well, in order to actually welcome that into my life, I need to plan for that. Maybe it's physical, okay, physically based, economically based. It might be environmentally based. To say in this way, like, I want a dog, okay, I need a yard, like, sort of thing. I'm hearing that specifically, like. Now, who's to say that you need, any one thing in order to accommodate another one thing, right? But maybe for a number of you, it's on a perceptive level. You feel like something is. It's a matter of also really representing whatever this is, whatever this need is, or whatever this desire is. So maybe for a number of you, it's something that you feel you're just not, like, you feel, again, Beck can emphasize that, you feel like you perhaps haven't really committed to whatever the space is in the way that you would have liked. So again, this can be like a personal expectation. It could be something that you set upon yourself. You're like, well, I promised myself, like, by this age, or I'm hearing big time by this age, by this date, that I would have already created, I'm hearing as well, this company or this community. I'm hearing that as well. And for a number of you, maybe you feel like I just haven't reached that level, perhaps. And or you feel like it's something that you really want to communicate, and perhaps, to say it in this way, like, you feel like you have a really strong connection, maybe even with someone, but you feel like you haven't really been able to, like, set out the time to really be able to approach the connection in the way that you feel for it. Does that make sense, Capricorn? Like, let's say it in this way. Maybe you feel, and again, I'm hearing something you fear, perhaps, especially if you're dealing with a Cancer or a Taurus, or a Cancer with a lot of Taurus in the chart. You feel like you have the ticket, but it's not punched, sort of feeling, okay? Or you feel like you're like, okay, you're late. I'm hearing that as well. You're late to the event. I'm hearing that specifically. For a number of you, perhaps, and I'm hearing Sagittarius here. I haven't done the Sagittarius reading yet, so if you do feel guided, then feel free to watch that. If you do feel guided, but I haven't, done that reading yet. But for a number of you, you feel like there's also something that you really want to address, okay, but that you feel like you haven't been able to quite yet. Now, for another number of you, you feel like there's something that you really love. Like, I'm hearing, but you feel like you've really addressed it in a passive way. Maybe for no reason, someone you're really attracted to, but you're like, I haven't had the chance to also, like, as I feel it, really, really, like, live that passion out in a proactive way. So maybe for no reason, like, to say it this way, like, you see that there's potential in some space, but you feel like you haven't been able to really, like, accommodate what you feel to be the potential. Maybe for a number of you, you feel like you're also, like, traveling a lot, and it's not allowing you the chance to really also gravitate in the direction that you really want to move in, okay? Like, maybe there's something that you feel like you also need to set aside the time for a number. You feel like maybe there are a number of factors in the environment that are you're just, like, too busy. This is for a number of you. Or you feel like there's something that is, like, it's drowning your resources. Hold on. Or you feel like it requires, someone feels like they're not efficient, perhaps. Like, they feel like, or they're planning for something and they feel like they need a lot more. It's like, I'm not done packing my luggage and I feel like I need to really pack for this trip, like, sort of feeling. I'm hearing Pran, P-R-A-N, I don't know what that's alluding to. Judgment upright. Someone's about to travel, actually. Or they're planning for some trip and they feel like, oh my god, I'm not prepared. Or they feel like there's something that... it's even like a program. I'm hearing a university. I'm hearing Drexel. Oh, it's like I'm hearing it's an exam as well for no reason. They feel they need to take, and maybe they feel like they're not prepared, but it's perceptive. Again, let's move into the third stack. We have the Ace of Wands with the Strength card. The Moon, I'm hearing something's coming through in the summer. Son of Cups. Somebody feels like, okay, look, if especially you watch the second stack, there could be a focus there. Feel free to watch the second stack if you do feel guided. But there is perhaps this feeling, if you're watching stack 3, that something has maybe not gone according to plan, so to speak. Okay. As it may be perceived, maybe someone has sort of like also this expectation that they set upon themselves, like, I felt like I would have accomplished this by this time. I'm hearing that as well. And maybe it's like something that someone feels like it's a little bit of a downer. Maybe they feel like, well, again, it could be like to their own sense of self-expectation, like, I feel like I'm not making progress. Like, so maybe for a number of you, it's actually something that you feel you really want to come out with, maybe even to reveal, and you feel like you haven't had the chance to really open up to that level and that degree. For a number of you, it's this sort of feeling like, let's say you meet someone, right? Let's say you go on a first date, or I'm not saying that that's really the case, but take it as you will. Let's say it as an example. All right, I'm seeing someone with a backpack on. I don't know what that's alluding to. All right. So for a number of you, it has to do maybe even with an impression that you feel you've made on someone. You're like, I don't feel like I really made the right impression. Now, that's a perception, right? Well, maybe even, let's say you audition for some space, or let's say like you kind of like, I'm hearing you also took an exam, or in some way like you met someone for the first time. It could be an interview, a big time for a number of you. And I'm hearing mergers and acquisitions as well. And maybe you felt, Capricorn, like, again, it's something that you felt maybe, okay? You're like, I felt like I also didn't really project my truth, my personality. Maybe for a number you feel like you weren't able to really get your message across. I'm hearing that as well. Maybe that's a fear of yours, okay? For a number of you, this has to do with negotiation, perhaps, and or making something very clear. You're like, well, I really felt like I wasn't, like, I didn't have the chance to show what this really means to me, what this really meant to me. I'm hearing as well. Split to the Empress, sitting right over the Emperor again, Capricorn. These two cards coming through for you. Remember, in the general reading, with the daily predictions, the Emperor, Empress, and the Emperor, the again interchangeably, the Empress and the Emperor coming through. For a number of you, you don't want to lose out on an opportunity, and perhaps there is a little bit of fear attached to the space of like, you know, that feeling when you're like, all right, I've always sort of known that this was something important and that it's something that I wanted to pursue, but I didn't really like present it as that until the moment came where, or until the moment was that I felt like I could have actually lost it, or I could have kind of like, you know, lost out on the opportunity to present it. Okay, so, or to pursue it. And you got the Ten of Cups mirroring the Empress. For a number of you, like, there is something that you feel is like even a matter of time. You're like, I need to take advantage of this now. I'm hearing it's now or never. That's how someone may feel. Again, that's how they may feel. For a number of you, it has to do with the emotional space and dimension. It has to do with the vulnerability for a number of you. So there's something that for a number of you, you feel like, at this point in my life, I feel like it's time to really reflect on this, maybe, or to, well, let's backtrack, to really represent this. And it might be some space that is even emotionally based, where, you know, you reflect and you're like, well, am I really vulnerable? Okay, am I being honest with my needs also on an emotional level? And that might be something that is rather complex, right? Your needs I'm hearing on a level that is public and private, and that did come through right in the general reading. So let's backtrack though. For a number of you, it has to do with something. I'm hearing Melissa, I'm hearing Eckhart Tolle. This is something that you're actually creating, something that maybe even, well, let's backtrack, let's clear that. It's something that, one second, it is related to something you want to even create or to present in a public way. So there could be a level of also publicity that might be related, and even presentation. All right, take us to 11 light, 2 Capricorn. Bye.